What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Dillian, the body snatcher Whyte. The #1 mandatory for the WBC strap is not happy with Eddie Hearn for pushing the Fury-Joshua fight. Of course, with the WBC heavyweight title now in the hands of Tyson Fury, Dillian Whyte might expect that his promoter, Eddie Hearn, could go to bat for him to get him his long-awaited shot at the title, with him holding the WBC's #1 contender position. Well, Whyte would be wrong. Hearn is instead much more interested in staging an undisputed heavyweight title unification between Fury and his cash cow Anthony Joshua as soon as possible, something Whyte himself isn't too keen on. So when Hearn took to Twitter immediately floating the idea of the Fury-Joshua this summer, which is in early talks by the way, Whyte couldn't help but to chime in. Eddie Hearn, of course, said no need for the third fight. Let's go straight to the summer for undisputed. Dillian Whyte was, how about doing what's right and forcing him to fight me first as #1 challenger? Wow. And meanwhile, Whyte may continue to maintain the mandatory challenger position with the WBC. The sanctioning bodies isn't exactly fast tracking the fighter to his world title aspirations, with Whyte currently expected to wait his turn for another full year. Whyte probably hoped his promoter would advocate for him a bit more, though. Oh well. Now, let me counterpunch this, guys. I see both aspects, and I can understand Dillian Whyte being pissed off, being upset, being disappointed. Why? Because Eddie Hearn, his promoter, was going out to bat for him when Deontay Wilder had the WBC strap. Now the times have changed. Now he wants the unification for undisputed with Joshua and Fury. I can understand Dillian Whyte's frustrations because regardless of what, he's still the mandatory. And I think it's up to Eddie Hearn and really the powers that be on what really happens. Because see, if Tyson Fury, if he decides, hey, well, I'm going to fight Dillian Whyte, or I'm going to just go for the gusto with Anthony Joshua, he can do whatever he wants to do. And it's almost, this is what's happening. Dillian Whyte is being once again overshadowed by Anthony Joshua. Point blank and period. I call a spade a spade. Eddie Hearn was more interested in a unification and undisputed, like a lot of people, because the overall plan is to get an undisputed champion. So unifications, undisputed, trumps all. Where does Dillian Whyte come in? Well, an undisputed champion is far more desirable than a mandatory spot. I'm sorry. Anthony Joshua is fighting 2 mandatories, right? But we talk less about those because of what could possibly be. And that's the problem. Now, I do feel Dillian Whyte's frustrations because if I'm looking at Eddie Hearn, I would be like, hey man, what happened with your desire to get me that position versus Anthony Joshua that's already busy with 2 other mandatories? I get it. I would be upset like Dillian Whyte too, because it seems like he's changing tunes. But then what promoter wouldn't if they had that many hens in the hen house? Okay? Eddie Hearn has a lot of fighters, bro. And he has the top fighters. You think about it. He has Joshua. He has Whyte. He has Usyk. He has Parker. He has a lot of fighters that he's dealing with. So he can pick and choose who he wants. But again, this is an overshadowing effect by the situation. Okay? So if he could get a Tyson Fury fight, of course, because that's a bigger fight. That's more money. That's for everything. Dillian Whyte is just a fighter in the stable at this point. But again, it just goes to show you what a monopoly can do and the dangers of having a monopoly of fighters like that. It would be best for Dillian Whyte to be with someone else. But again, what could he do at this point? So if I'm Dillian Whyte, you have to reconsider and backtrack what really happened. Sure, it's unfair, but Dillian Whyte could have fought Joshua last year. Let's be honest. And then if he would have beat Joshua, we wouldn't be having this problem. But let's look at it like this. Okay. If Joshua fights Fury, there has to be a winner or a loser, and he will be there. That's, if I'm Dillian Whyte, that's how I should be looking at it. And Dillian Whyte should just be fighting, kicking ass, taking names until his opportunity comes. That's my counterpunch on that. You guys let me know. Of course, please subscribe. You guys can counterpunch. Peace.